It's noon here in your nation's capital, Washington, D.C., and this is CarEdge Live for Thursday, December 26th, with your hosts, me, Ray Sniffles Shefska, and his son, Zach. What the hell happened to your beard, Shefska?
We do sound checks, and you are not nearly as loud in sound checks, and then we do the show, and you're,
Bring the energy, buddy, even when I don't have it.
All right, folks, today's show is brought to you by CarEdge.com. My dad and I founded this company. Come on, man, turn your phone on silent. My dad and I founded this company 5 years ago, dude. Can you turn your phone on silent? Do not disturb. On. Nice job. 5 years ago, folks, we started CarEdge.com. We were sitting next to each other, doing something. Anyway, if we can help you out with anything, our end of year promotion is running right now back at CarEdge.com. Dad, I want to start today's show off with, it's officially the best time to buy a car.
Now, let's start today's show off with, well, I hope everybody had a great Christmas and a first night of Hanukkah, and your Kwanzaa's going well, and you have your list for Festivus, your list of grievances. I hope everybody's holiday season is just going really, really well. Now, what was that question again?
Okay, good point. Yes, thank you for bringing that up. But yeah, my question is, it's not a question, it's a statement. It's officially the best time ever to buy a car. We are at that time of year where there's 5 days left between now and the end of the year. Most manufacturer incentive programs actually run through January 2nd.
That is correct.
So you've actually got, what's that, 6 days?
7.
7 days? You got 7 days to make a car deal, folks.
Yeah.
We are in the best time to buy a car mode. I thought we could spend the beginning of today's show talking about why that is, and then obviously sharing some stories from your experiences back in the dealership. Like, you must have done some pretty crazy deals back in the day between December 26th and January 2nd. But let's start there, Dad. Why is right now the best time ever to buy a new car?
Well, the year's coming to an end, and manufacturers, dealers, and salespeople are trying to hit goals that they set for themselves back in January. Yeah. And so you have a limited amount of time left to hit your sales goal as the manufacturer, which means you're spending more on incentives during the last week of December than at any other time of the year to encourage your dealers to make as many deals as they possibly can. Dealerships set dealership goals for sales of new and used cars, and salespeople can have huge yearly bonuses riding on them hitting their annual goals. So there's just a confluence of spirit and energy to hit all these goals, this motivation, and people are pushing as hard as they can to hit them.
And let's be real, Dad. We are beyond the point of no return, meaning if you wanted to negotiate via email, phone, things like that, you needed to have started doing that at least a week ago, 2 weeks ago. For those dealerships that are really trying to pump out volume right now, which is a lot of dealerships, if you've been following this channel for a while, you know we are very, very, very focused on market days, supply, market conditions, things like that. You're at the point of no return. You need to actually go to a dealership now, because it's just going to be so hectic, so chaotic, so crazy. You experienced that throughout your career.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. And I saw a tweet the other day from somebody on X that I think owns car dealerships, and he said, this is the week, folks. If you want to buy a car, now's the time to shoot your shot. It's just that, I mean, everybody in the industry realizes it and understands it and knows it, and those of us who spend time in the industry and are trying to share with customers exactly what it is that we know, that everybody is motivated right now in order to make as many cars disappear as possible. So I will say this. It's probably going to be very busy at whatever dealership you show up at over the next few days, because everybody's pushing to make something happen. So yeah, there will be deals to be had,
but it's more difficult to try and use all of our online. Like, if you're at this point trying to send emails to 15 different dealerships for the same new car, you're behind the 8 ball. You're going to close that deal in January because you're probably not going to hear from anyone because they're going to be so busy.
They're going to be busy. They're going to be busy. I mean, it's not like salespeople will be sitting around. just having time to answer emails and internet leads that come in. The front door is going to be swinging open a lot today at most dealerships.
And if it's not, that's also another sign for holy cow. There's even more desperation. If a dealership's not busy today, if they're not busy over the next few days, let's take a trip down memory lane. And before we do, and the trip down memory lane is going to be to some of your experiences around this time of year. Before we do, I want to remind everyone of a great free resource on CarEdge.com under research. See what others paid. When you click on that, it will take you to this page, which is verified prices. You can then toggle between either the concierge deals that we've done for our hundreds of customers or community submitted deals. So you can see what your fellow community members have been able to negotiate and secure this holiday season. Just looking for a second here, Dad. I'm looking at concierge submitted deals, any payment type. We're going to add more filters here soon. You can see just the other day, $1,200 off on a 2025 Toyota RAV4 XLE right after Thanksgiving or right around Thanksgiving. A Honda Passport, $4,500 off. Buick Envision, we got $1,100 off. This is back in September. A Honda CRV, $3,000 off. Crown Signia, almost $4,000 off. So these are big savings that you're able to find even on vehicles like Toyotas and Hondas, which is just a demonstration of the time of year. That deal's not there in July. Maybe it is, but it's really, really not there. It's not as likely to be there in July as it is to be there.
There just isn't, the incentive isn't there. The money from the manufacturer isn't there to help support it.
We're in conversations with some of the OEMs to try and get programs with them, and their co-ops, that co-op money that we talk about, like regional, you may have heard us talk about on the show, like regional co-ops that pool money together, it's like 80% of that gets distributed out in December in marketing. So like the commercials we're all seeing on TV right now, and also in incentives. So it's very real. Like the deeper I've gone on the OEM side to build relationships with them, it's super real. They all care about November and December, especially December.
No, I've been making it up for 43 years.
It's just interesting because you never worked for an OEM.
Yeah, they don't give a crap at all.
All right, so take us down memory lane. Do you have any, stories that you remember, experiences you remember about end of the year? Because I remember you weren't always there for the New Year's ball drop. You weren't there most.
Oh, I remember calling the general manager of Scottsdale Acura when it was still Scottsdale Acura before we moved to North Scottsdale. It became Acura North Scottsdale, and I remember calling the GM on New Year's Eve, Jack, to report in, and it was about 10:30 at night that we had made our last deal that put us at, I forget what the number was for the month and for the year. And it was like, 10:30, and maybe I was going to get out of the dealership at 11. So I did get home in time to watch the ball drop with your mother and you guys. But I was always there late on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve. And just this, I always remember that I used to try to remind the salespeople that they will never find themselves busier than what they're going to be from December 26th through typically January 2nd, because programs typically run through January 2nd. And literally, we would do at a store that on average did 100 new Acuras a month. Typically, the last week of the year was close to 60 deals for that week.
Whoa.
Okay. For a store that was selling 100 new cars in a month, it was just, you knew you were going to get there. You might have time for half a cup of coffee. And then that was it.
Working.
That was it. You were going to be busy all day long. Trying to hit your sales goals, trying to hit the store sales goals. It just, and it becomes a frenzy. And at a certain point, as a sales manager, you might be working 3, 4, 5, 6 deals at a time. Now, I don't want to suggest that you can ever get confused when you're working 3, 4, 5, 6 deals at a time, but confusion often reigns. And sometimes you end up making car deals and it's afterwards and you go, holy, what the hell? What? I got that confused. Oh God. Oh, this is terrible. Whatever. Let's move on.
Get the deal done.
Yeah. It's already done. you found yourself committing to a big time loser, and well, it's the end of the year. What are you going to do?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I can imagine that happening. I will let everyone know that all the manufacturer programs that are going on right now, just go to caredge.com/best-deals or on caredge.com under research, best year end car deals. We've got all the information right here. So you can see there are upwards of 30 different 0% financing offers nationwide right now. We've got them all right here. The 10 best year end car deals. We've got it broken down by trucks, SUVs, EVs, lease deals are on here as well. So a great resource that shows you what's going on out there in the environment in terms of deals to be had. So really, really, really good info that our team has pulled together. And again, that's caredge.com/best-deals. Now, Dad, I was looking at an article that came out over on KBB. When will new car prices drop? So we're talking about this, and I couldn't help but notice we had a comment come in here from Mike earlier in the show. Hey, boys, with all due respect, I think you are going to be wrong about this end of year sales. Overpriced and unreliable is going to stifle sales. This KBB article is really interesting, Dad, because they show you right here new car prices are staying steady at almost $49,000. So do you think that maybe we are going to be wrong this year, that maybe the year-end sales won't be as big as we had anticipated because the average transaction price, the listing price of these new cars is still close to $50,000?
Okay, and new car dealers had a record month last month, and they're going to have a record month this month.
Yeah.
And on top of that, used car sales are going to be up this month from what all the indications are. So yeah, average transaction prices are still high. The one area that we've seen growth in sales volume this year has been in lower priced, less expensive vehicles, because more and more people can't afford the full-size SUV or the full-size pickup truck. So we're seeing a decline in those sales volumes with an increase in more consumer price-friendly sales volumes. So I don't think we're going to be wrong. I think this is going to be a stellar end of the year. I haven't heard any chatter about the sales being off.
Yeah.
I think those who can will buy. Those who can't and never could won't buy. And those that wish they could, well, will wish they could.
Seeing really, really, really aggressive pricing online right now.
Yeah.
This is actually a dealer. I texted them to see if I could get an out-the-door price because they're advertising a $64,000 F-150 at $14,760 off. I mean, this deal was not here back in July. This deal, I mean, what's fascinating, Dad, is you can look at price history for vehicles. So let's look at the price history for this vehicle. This is the advertised price from this dealership. Okay, back in April, they were advertising it at MSRP. Then in May, they decided to be more aggressive, put down $10,000. And you can see here, they're finally at, oh man, back in November, it looks like maybe they were.
Yeah, that was really the manager special.
That was really the manager special. Yeah. But, like, we're seeing very aggressive online pricing. Does that translate into
actual pricing?
We know this obviously from our concierge car buying service, but there's negotiating to still be done. But these types of advertised prices even weren't around 6 months ago. So it's really, it's demonstrative of what's going on in the market.
Yeah, I know that average asking prices and average transaction prices are still high, but the percentage of incentive spend from manufacturers against those average transaction prices has gone up to about 8%. So, not too long ago, they were at 2%, 3%. So even though pricing is holding steady, the size and amount of the incentive spend has gone up dramatically, thus reducing the ultimate cost of the vehicle. So you might not see the price come down, but you're seeing the ultimate cost of that purchase come down because of how much the manufacturer is spending in order to make that happen. And on average, that is 8%. So if it was 2% before, that's a significant increase. And even though the pricing is still $48,000, the fact that there's, I don't know, $4,000, $5,000 in incentive from the manufacturer to help reduce that ultimate cost, they're cheaper today than they had been.
I want to commission a research project. So, hey, Justin on the CarEdge team, I want to see this chart, and I want to see this chart broken down by each manufacturer. Because on this chart, what you're seeing is the blue line is the average transaction price for all new cars.
Yes.
And the orange line is the incentive percentage of that average transaction price. So pre-pandemic, new cars were transacting at around $33,000, $30,000 to $35,000. And as a customer, you could expect to get somewhere between 8 to 10% of that vehicle's transaction price off, quote unquote, as incentives. I wonder what this chart looks like for Jeep's vehicles specifically. I wonder what this chart looks like for Toyota's vehicles specifically, Mazda, Subaru. It would tell such interesting and compelling stories, because I think for some, like Jeep, you're going to wait until that orange line that's currently for the whole industry at 8% to get up to 20% before really the dam breaks.
Well, and it very well might be at 12 or 14 or 15% today. Whereas if you look at it for Toyota, it might be at 2 or 3%. So the difference is that the percentage of spread from what the incentive is from the manufacturer isn't going to be as great on some brands as it is on others.
Absolutely. Hey, if we've helped you this year purchase a vehicle, can you let us know in the chat right now? Just let us know. Like, hey, CarEdge helped, or Ray and Zach, you guys helped me. Like, let us know. It'd be really awesome.
Even lie.
Yeah, even if we didn't. Feel free to tell us.
Just let us know we made your life a little bit better during the course of the year, even if it was just because of these silly ass conversations.
Let us know. I'm very curious. Earlier in the show, Dad, from Baron. Thank you, Baron. We really appreciate the contribution. Missed the beginning. Did you discuss Nissan and Honda merging? Good morning, folks. We discussed this last week, or maybe even beginning of this week. Probably both. We probably talked about it.
Yes.
Haven't discussed it yet today. I don't know. Is
there something going on with Honda and
the
Nissan?
third largest automaker?
We hadn't heard anything. No, we didn't discuss it today, but we did discuss it earlier in the week.
Nothing's going to happen until 2026.
Well, the plan allegedly is that they hope to have everything in place by August of 2026. And that in order for the plan to come together, each manufacturer has to get their house in order, which I believe is Honda's way of saying, Nissan, figure out how to get your stuff back together so that it makes sense for us to continue down this path. So, we've sort of had conversations about it. We shall see what happens, and we shall see if Mitsubishi agrees to go along with it.
Something tells me they're all going to take this bailout from Honda. At least that's my read on the room. We've got from Brad Dad over on Facebook. Thank you to everyone who likes CarEdge over on Facebook. You know, 50,000 people like CarEdge on Facebook.
I didn't even know that 50,000 people use Facebook. They have that many users now?
They still have that many users. Thank you, Brad, for watching us every day. We appreciate it. Is it really a great deal if you get a big discount on a very slow-selling, low-quality car? One thing to this low-quality comment, I would just like to update everyone. We've got the latest power ranking data from NHTSA. Ford is posing a comeback, Brad.
Well, not really.
They're up to 63 recalls. They added one more recall, trying to chase down Chrysler FCA 72 recalls. But Brad's got a good point. Prices have gone up like crazy, and we know that the quality of vehicles, at least if you use recalls as a proxy for it, it's kind of questionable right now. But a deal's a deal.
Is it a savings? Yeah. Is it enough to get you to want to take a look at that car whose quality might be a tad bit suspicious compared to other options out there? It must be working. Ram sales have increased and Jeep sales have increased because of the size of the incentives that have gone up. So the answer to your question is yes, people will take the opportunity to save that money and buy a lower quality vehicle because they were able to get that additional savings in order to make it appear to be worthwhile.
Here's a perfect example from No Name. You guys helped me get $19,000 off of MSRP on a new Jeep Gladiator Sport S Triple Black, fully loaded, and $4,000 more for my trade. And happy hallelujah! So, when you're getting nearly $20,000 off of MSRP, it's $20,000 off of them. Like, it feels good. There's no other way to say it. It feels good to think you won getting 20 grand off.
Well, you have to feel so much better than the guy that got 1,000 off. You have to feel 19 times better than the moron that only got 1,000 off.
The trade comment's great though, because no matter what,
there was Joseph A. Bank is a clothing store.
Yeah.
Okay. And for the longest period of time, it seemed like every day they were running a sale. Buy 2 suits, get a 3rd suit free.
Of course.
Okay. And I always thought, imagine that poor sucker who walked in on the one day of the year that it was, well, you buy 2 suits, you bought 2 suits. You're not getting no 3rd suit. So you have to be attuned to, so somebody might have gotten 19 times better a deal than the guy that settled for 1,000 off.
Speaking of being attuned, folks, for the second time in company history, we're doing $100 off our CarEdge concierge car buying service. That's a mouthful. Your car, your terms, our expertise.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, man. You can look at all the recent deals we've done for our community members. You can learn more about how it works and what we do. Please, folks, check it out, caredge.com/concierge. Really impressed with what the team has built here and obviously what we're able to deliver. It's so great seeing all the 5-star reviews come in. So there's your Joseph A. Bank moment back on caredge.com from Fly Chomper Fly. Thank you, Fly Chomper Fly. Merger to help the Japanese auto industry in a small country. Yeah, absolutely. It seems very clear. This is Japan's play to stay relevant in the auto industry beyond just Toyota, which, to be clear, is the world's largest automaker. So they're going to be relevant no matter what. But how to stay like solvent, how to stay relevant in terms of brands like Nissan. You don't want to see Nissan go by the wayside if you're Japan. From Mike, thank you, Mike. Superior Ford in Siloam Springs, Arkansas, is selling any Ford F-150 on their lot for $16,000 off of sticker.
Wow.
Moving a few, but they are already a year old now. They don't have any 2025 models unless they have. Yeah, so this is what we're seeing right now. You can say the quality's worse, the prices are high. It's a buyer's market. No matter how you slice it and dice it, it's a buyer's market. And these next 7 days are when you as a customer have the most leverage possible because of all of those volume incentive sales goals, things like that. Whether you want to take advantage of it this year, next year, the following year, no skin off our back.
Yeah,
it's important to understand that that's the dynamic in the dealership right now.
No, it is. There are savings to be had. Would you rather have $16,000 off on something that's overpriced, or would you like to have $2,500 off on something that's I don't know, only $10,000 less in price? Seems to me the $16,000 is a better deal.
Definitely. And I want to bring up, because we had the customer or the community member who mentioned the $20,000, $19,000 savings.
Yeah.
$4,000 more on your trades, a huge storyline there as well, because we know the industry is struggling with used car inventory right now. So for all of these deals, regardless of what you get on the front end, whatever you negotiate in terms of the selling price of the vehicle or the out the door price, if you have a trade, that's another area where you have a ton of leverage and opportunity. We obviously have caredge.com/sell to help you with that, but that can't go unnoticed. These next 7 days, dealers are still desperate for good used inventory too.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of dealers want to get set up for spring selling season, for tax season. It's it's that time of year where you have to start thinking about those things.
So let's go here, Dad, from Sam As I Am. What's the best time for used cars? Because you have to be rather nuts to pay those new car prices, or those prices for most of them. Yeah, used car prices are still very high, especially for quality used cars.
Yes.
I would anticipate, my expectation here, spring selling season, you will see aggressive deals on used vehicles to try and turn inventory. That's where you see a lot of customers.
Well, that's when you'll see the highest prices on your used car vehicles will be during tax time.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, well, it always has been that way. That's because suddenly people are flush with cash.
So do you think it's right before tax time?
I think January, February can be a good time to buy a used car. And I also think late May, early June. Late spring into summer is when you start to see used car prices coming down again. But the spring selling season with tax returns, that's when used car sales are probably at their highest, and that's when pricing is probably at its highest during the course of the year.
That is a great insight from Papa Shevska. Did my part wants to know how much off of a new Audi A6 should I ask? I'm going to be shameless here, but we're going to use our tools. I'm going to the car search. We did.
I would think 10 to 14%, somewhere in that area.
A6. We're looking for new ones. There's only 1,100 new ones for sale nationwide. You're talking a 2025 or a 2024? I don't know. We're just going to click on this one right here. Drum roll, please, gang. We've got a target discount on this of $5,450 off of an $80,000 vehicle. So that's like 8%. They're saying shoot for even more. They're saying shoot for 10 to 14%.
Yeah, this time of year.
Time of year.
Yes.
So some good data that you can use there. They've had it 62 days. Moment of truth. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, these things are, what are they called? Boat anchors?
Oh, that's what a lot of folks might call them, yeah. Especially at the Jersey Shore where I live.
Yeah, boat anchors. 293 market days supply means it's not selling fast.
No.
So there you go, did my part. That's the market. Those are the market insights you should look at to help inform your negotiating with the dealership. And you should always shoot for more within reason.
Yeah.
Because you're going to negotiate back down.
Always ask for more. You can't get what you don't ask for. I've said that a million times. I'd like to have $1 for every time I've said it, and then I would probably stop saying it because, well, I'd have more than enough money to hold me over for another week or two.
Yes, seriously. Yeah. From earlier in the show from Amy. Thank you, Amy. Thank you, CarEdge. I just negotiated a deal on a loaded 2024 Mazda CX-90 Turbo S Premium Plus for 10% off of MSRP plus $2,800 in rebates. Got my dream car for almost $10,000.
Nicely done.
On a Mazda. We know Mazda has an oversupply of CX-90s.
Yes. Yes.
You're trying to do that on the Miata? No. You're trying to do that on a CX-90? Absolutely.
Nicely done.
Congratulations.
Yes. Glad we could help.
Tiger wants to know, Dad, is it over?
It's always over.
Always over.
Yeah.
Baby.
If it's not over, it's just about over. And if it's pretty soon it'll be over. But you know, at that point, who will care?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I mean, when it's really over, who's going to give it?
No more YouTube at that point. Anyway, from Sam As I Am, thank you, Sam As I Am. CarEdge Concierge found us a hard-to-find used 2023 Toyota RAV4, and it all went very well. Thanks so much for the used car. So glad to have been able to help Sam As I Am, and thank you for trusting us and using our service. From Dave Best, how should you deal with a trade-in on a lease? I traded a vehicle in on a lease, and I would see the trade-in until the end of the lease. Wait, how should you deal with a trade-in on a lease? I traded a vehicle in on a lease. So I had a leased vehicle.
Okay, if you have a trade-in and you want to lease a car, okay, whatever the value of your trade is, let's just say for easy numbers for me, because you know I'm slow. Let's say it's worth $10,000, and let's say you only owe $5,000
on my trade-in.
On your trade-in. So you have $5,000 worth of equity. What you want to say to a dealer when you have a trade-in on a lease is, I don't want to put any of that equity towards the lease. I want that back as a check to me. Okay? Because trade equity down on a lease is just money down on a lease, which is money that you can never get back if the car were totaled. It's just all you're doing is making sure that you have a cheap lease payment. So that's how you handle a trade on a lease. Yeah.
We have a new guide. This literally just came out like, I don't know.
And by the way, you can do that on a purchase as well. If you have a car that has a lot of equity, and you don't want to use all the equity towards the new purchase, say, okay, I have $10,000 worth of equity in my vehicle. I want to apply $2,000 of the equity to the car deal, and I want the other $8,000 back to me as cash. And that can be done.
I've got here, Dad, December 12th. So like we just published this literally 2 weeks ago. How to negotiate a car lease. All I did, how to negotiate a car lease, CarEdge. And this guide, Mario on the team, Space worked with Justin on it. It's great, guys. It's great. Like anything and everything. Hey,
there we are.
Anything and everything you could ever ask for is right here about how to negotiate a lease. So please use this resource. Just Google search again, how to negotiate a car lease, space CarEdge.
And that costs how much to use?
$0.
Okay.
From Jay Croc. Thank you, Jay Croc. Is a $500 prep fee legitimate?
No. I mean, I could make it more difficult than that, but no. The prep fee on a new car, any dealer prep fee, a real honest to goodness prep fee, the pre-delivery inspection is paid for by the manufacturer to the dealer. If it is on a used car, well, that's just fluff. Whatever their costs were to prepare the car for the lot should be already included in the selling price of the vehicle. So not only is a $4.99 prep fee not real, but a $1.99 prep fee wouldn't be real.
In general, prep fee
Yes.
is a no-go. If it's
Yes.
taxable,
It's negotiable.
absolutely. All right, folks, that's today's show. Again, if we can help you out with anything, CarEdge.com. A few things I want to point out. If you're interested in knowing the dealer invoice price for a vehicle, just click on dealer invoice price. Use the car search under research. Everything that is free is for me. Check out all the cool resources we have there, including the car comparison. If you're in the market to buy a car,
Yes.
Concierge Car Buying Service, $100 off. For the next few days, CarEdge Insights, our car buying toolkit, off 25% as well. And vehicle service contract, also known as an extended warranty, $250 off between now and the end of the year. We have tire and wheel protection and key replacement too from CarEdge as well that you can use to negotiate at the dealership or heck, just to purchase. If you're in the market to trade a vehicle in or you need to sell a car, you can do that back on CarEdge.com/sell. Refinancing an auto loan, you can do that back on CarEdge. And shopping and saving on auto insurance, which is just insane how expensive auto insurance is.
Yes.
You can do that on CarEdge.com too. 5 years of building this thing, baby. We got all sorts of great resources back on the website for our community, but that's a show for today.
Wow. Killed another 30 minutes.
Another 30 minutes down. Hey, wait, how many? We've probably done, what, 1,000 of these?
Done way too many.
We've probably done 1,000.
Yeah.
And each one's 30 minutes.
Yeah, minimum. Yeah.
So that's 30,000 minutes.
Yeah.
How many days is 30,000 minutes?
I don't know how many minutes are in a day.
Oh, I'm nervous. We've spent 21 days doing this.
Yeah, it feels like it. Yeah, feels like we've done 21 days in a row.
We did do that one time.
Yeah,
That
yes,
was
yes.
too much. We were
Yes.
exhausted.
Yeah.
Ray looks relaxed and well fed. Yeah, I agree.
Well, I am relaxed and well fed and getting ready to get on a train to go home.
Yep, headed back.
Yes. Yes. Looking forward to it, I think, sort of, maybe.
Glad to have had you here.
Yeah, glad to have been here.
All right, folks, we're going to call it a show. We'll be back tomorrow with more CarEdge Live. And then Saturday, we've got our fundraiser going on. So stay tuned for that as well. Love you.
Yeah, love you too. That's it. Good seeing you all. Hope you all had a great holiday yesterday, and I hope whatever team you were hoping would win won. And for those of you whose team didn't, well, stuff happens.